What's up, everybody? This is Josh from Music Lesson. I've got a great new video here for you. We're going to be talking about how to tune your guitar. Now, this is for beginners, but it's also for people who just need to know how to tune a guitar for any reason, right? Maybe you're not planning on playing the guitar, but you need to know how to tune it. Well, this will hopefully help you out as well. Alright, so going through the guitar, what I'm going to do is I'm going to detune a couple of my strings, okay? I'm going to tune a couple of my strings too high, and I'm going to leave a couple of them alone, okay? Now what I'm going to do is I'm also going to turn on my tuner here so you can see what these notes are supposed to be. Now, the easiest way for me to tell you how to tune a guitar is to tell you something that's concrete, something that's absolute, something that is unlikely to change, and that is standard tuning on the guitar. This is very important. What are we talking about when we talk about standard tuning? Essentially, we're talking about the hertz or the frequency of the string that you're playing. Okay? So basically, this string has a particular hertz, this string has a particular hertz, this string has a particular hertz. We'll get to that more in a second. Let's just start with the names of the strings on the guitar. Okay, the names of the strings on the guitar are going to be the low E, the A, the D, the G, the B, and the high E. Okay, so low E, A, D, G, B, high E. And an easy way to memorize that is one of the ones that I tell my students is you make an acronym. So you say a sentence in each letter of the first word of the first letter of each word in the sentence, we're going to get this right, is going to be the letter of the strings. But you have to come up with the words first. So what you're going to say is Eddie ate dynamite, goodbye Eddie. Okay? And those are going to be the names of the strings. Let me get this so you can see it a little bit better. Eddie ate dynamite, goodbye Eddie. Eddie ate dynamite, goodbye Eddie. E, A, D, G, B, E. E, A, D, G, B, E. Now you say, well, Josh, there's two E's. That is correct, there are. Now, how do I know the difference, Josh, about what the strings are? How do I know the low E from the high E? Well, the low E, first of all, if you have it tuned standardly, now I'm left-handed, you're right-handed, but our placement of our strings are the same way, because I play basically the same way that you do, just, well, the other way, right? So the low E is always going to be the top string, okay, or at least vertically the top string, right? Vertically up and down. And it's also always going to be the thickest string on your guitar. Low E is always going to be the thickest string on your guitar, unless you've got a 7-string or an 8-string or something like that, right? We only have 6 strings on the standard guitar. Push that aside. That's not what we're dealing with right now, okay? That's always the thickest string is the low E. The thinnest string is always the high E, okay? Now, you're going to notice that my strings are a little bit out of tune. We're going to come to that in a second. And I also wanted to include this tuner so that you could kind of see an interface. Now, what kind of tuner should I use? There's a number of different options out there. Quite honestly, most people today use an application that they download onto their cell phone, right? Totally fine, works very well. I have one that I use all the time. Basically, what I want you to do is I want you to find a tuner that is a chromatic tuner. Chromatic, C-H-R-O-M-A-T-I-C. Chromatic tuner. What does chromatic mean? Chromatic means it's going to pick up every single pitch, every single frequency, and every little hertz sense change in between those frequencies. Alright, that's important. You kind of want that, okay? So basically you can take pitches and go from low to high or high to low, and the tuner is always going to pick up what you are playing, what the guitar is playing, okay? Or for that matter, any other instrument, right? Chromatic tuner is what a chromatic tuner is. You can definitely get a tuner that has like a guitar mode, like a G mode, like a guitar mode. That would be fine too. The only thing about that is, and there are some that do this, you got to find one and you tell it which string that you're wanting to tune, and it'll tell you if you're too high or tell you if you're too low. That's not a bad option, okay? Because what that does is it gives you parameters. It helps you, has you play like Marco Polo or like hot or cold. You know, if you're too high, hey, you got arrow, got to go down. If you're too low, hey, arrow, you got to go up. You know, that type of thing. If it knows which string you're trying to tune. That's kind of important. There are some that do that too. This, again, is for people who don't know how to play guitar, who are beginners, total novices, who just need a reference point. Now, what I do is I tell my students, get a chromatic tuner that shows you the hertz. Hertz will be represented by Hz, okay? Hertz, Hz, okay? Now, if you find one that does that, and there's a lot of them, there's some that look just like this that do it, okay? Again, I'm not going to name names, but you can probably tell which one it is if you've been around guitar for more than a minute. I'm just serious, they're everywhere. So, this one, this type, this brand does hertz, but a bunch of other of them do, including applications on your phone. Oops, sorry for the shaking. Including applications on your phone. You can also do a tuning fork. Those are okay. I don't recommend them for guitar, at least definitely not for beginners. You can also tune the guitar by ear. I don't like to do that to start off with because I like it. You're training your ear as you play, right? It's better to start with standard tuning. The best way to do that is going to be through a tuner of some kind, okay, electronic tuner of some kind, because it's always going to be the same. My opinion, I know other people don't share that opinion, totally fine, okay? All right, so let's talk about what's the physicality of tuning. You're literally going to take one of these tuning pegs, and you're going to turn it left, or you're going to turn it right, okay? Now, turning it left on the top tightens it. Turning it, left, so to the left, will tighten it. Turning it to the right will loosen it. Turning it to the left will tighten it. Turning it to the right will loosen it. Okay? What your goal is like, that's why I give people the hertz. And I say use that tuner because that's going to give you the best way of knowing exactly whether or not you're higher or lower than the string that you're trying to tune. Okay? Very important, very useful. Okay? Also, I think it is pouring rain outside, so I apologize if you can hear that. Okay, moving on. All right, so here we go. Let's start by tuning the low E, okay? We are going to tune the low E, okay? Whoa, that is not an E. Showing a C sharp right there. And that's not what we want. We don't want a C sharp. Okay. Now, what I can also tell you, and you can't see right there because you're not looking at my particular tuner that I have on my phone, what I can also tell you is that is reading on the hertz as 67.6. And what we want for our E string, our low E string, is going to be an 82 hertz. 82 hertz. So I know it's low. 67 is less than 82, it's low, okay? So let's tighten that bad boy down, watch it go, watch it go. Now the tuner that I'm using doesn't show hertz, that's because I know what it is, so I don't need it. Keep it going, 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 and here we go. Okay, now here's the important part, you ready? Boom. Right there, nice and green, you got it, okay? Works out well that way. Let's move on to the A, shall we? Okay. Oh, that one happens to be dead on. No worries, we're good. Okay, let's move along to the C sharp. Now, I'm trying to tune the D here. Now, I know that a C sharp, and I could tell you that a C sharp is lower in pitch than a D, but that's not going to mean anything to you because there's a bunch of C sharps. We need to know the exact C sharp that this D is playing, or I'm sorry, well, yeah, it's a D string, of that what this D should be playing, okay? And it's not playing the D that we want it, it's playing a C sharp. What C sharp is it playing? It's playing a 141, relatively, give or take, right? What we want for a D is 147. 147. So I know 141 is lower than 147. I need to tighten the string, okay, and raise the pitch up to 147 hertz. Okay, here we go. All right, so we're low, tighten, 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 tighten. There we go. Now, you got to remember, this tuner is not showing hertz. My tuner that I have on my phone is, okay? And that's the thing. That's why I want you to get a tuner that shows the hertz so that you can compare it to what I'm telling you right now as far as the hertz for each respective string. Okay? Quick tip before we move on, I'll say this again at the end. When you're tuning, if you're tuning and the device you're using is using a microphone, well, I guess even for something, this works based off of vibrations. Even vibration thing. The best thing to do is keep picking. Don't pick heavy. Pick nice and light. And you're going to get an average of the frequencies that the unit is receiving, right? And that's going to give you a much better ballpark area, whether or not you're high, you're low, you're on, you're off, so on and so forth, right? So keep picking, but pick light. Don't pick hard, because if you pick hard, see how it went a little sharp? See if we can do it again. Went sharp, didn't it? That's not an accurate representation of the pitch. That's an accurate representation of the pitch. Nice and light, not heavy, not super soft, but enough, but not so heavy that what you're going to end up doing is you're going to end up getting a swell of pitch, swell of frequency. You do not want that, okay? All right, moving along. Let's go to the G string. And it's showing a little bit sharp G string. Next tip, tune up to the pitch. Tune up to the pitch. There you go. Now we're in tune. Tune up to the pitch. Now the G is supposed to be a 196. All of this is in the article that I'm going to link down below in the description in case you need the reference again. Okay, read the article multiple times through before you try doing this. Okay, very important. You don't want to miss anything. Watch this video a couple of times too, just to make sure you're ready. Then that way you probably won't break any strings if you're following the directions. Okay? Alright, so once again, the G is 196. We want 196 hertz. And I'm registering a 195. Let's pop it up here. And I'm just about at a 196. This bad boy says I'm correct. We're going to leave it there for now. Okay? Moving on to the B string. Oh, that is not a B. What is that? Registering right now is a C, isn't it? We don't want that. We want a B. Okay, but I have no idea. Without hertz, I don't know which C this is playing, right? I don't know which B I want. So if we know the hertz of the B string, it is 247. The hertz of the B string is 247 hertz. That's what we want. Let's see what we're registering at with the C. 257 with the C. 257. So I'm going to go down. 257 is higher than 47. 247 is the one I want for the B. And I'm at 257. I want to go down to 247. So let's detune, which means we're going to move it so that the string loosens to 247. Oh, there we go. Boom. 247. There you go, right there. You got it. 247. There it is. Okay? So that's how you know that's the B. Now, for the high E, which that is not, okay? I know it says E on there, but I'm going to explain what that means in a second. For the high E, we want a 330 hertz. Okay? 330 hertz. Okay? What I'm registering right now is 337. Notice it's not totally outside of the E realm here, is it? It's just a sharp E. Well, that's because there's a little bit of a spectrum. It's still technically out of tune. If I play a 330 hertz E with this 337, you'll hear the difference. It won't sound very complementary. Okay? So you got to make sure that you're as close to 330 as possible when you're doing standard tuning guitar. Use this to help you find that. Okay? That's very sharp. Let's go ahead and back it down. Boom. There I am, showing 330. This tuner is also confirming it. We have the exact E that we want. Now, what if we tried to do like a low E, 82 hertz on this one? It would be a rubber band. It basically, I mean, it wouldn't be usable at all. It'd be way too light, right? You could possibly do some sitar type stuff, you know, like really buzzy, jangly stuff, which, I mean, it sounds pretty cool. I mean, Jimmy Page experimented with a bunch of stuff like that. Not exactly to the point where it's a rubber band, but, you know, like buzzy, jangly type stuff. He did that, and it sounded really, really cool. So, there's a place for it, but it's not what we want when we're doing standard tuning guitar, and that's what I start all my students with, is standard tuning on the guitar. Okay? Alright, I think we covered everything that we need to cover here. If you've got any questions, please leave some comments down below. If there's anything I forgot, let me know. I do not want to forget anything, because I want you all to have the tools that you need to succeed. Okay? So be sure, let me know if you've got any questions. This is just about tuning the guitar, just about using the tuning machines, just about how to find out exactly which pitch to tune it to so that you don't break strings and so that your string is not too loose while you play, so that you can play it effectively. Let me know if you got any questions. Read the article a couple of times. Watch this video a couple of times before you attempt this yourself. Okay? I feel like that's probably going to really help you. And then let me know if it worked out for you. All right? Thank you very much. See you soon in the next video, and music is magic.